Hello and welcome to the fourth and I believe last installment for section 2 of the blog comments. We're going to push through the last batch here from Pat, Rachel, Rebecca, Rosie, Samantha, Stephen, Tyler, and Victoria. And we're going to push through these and see what we think of all of them. Please be sure to make that you watch the introductory video that gives a little context for these and what I'm going to be talking about. Alrighty, let's jump in. Pat, great. I'm glad you got this all worked out here. The first thing that I notice about this, and this is sort of a gaming kind of theme, is just how few images there are. It does not have a gamey feel. Now, I don't necessarily mean that it needs to be cluttered and with all sorts of things going on. But I also think that we could have a little bit more pizzazz, something just a little less plain for a theme. Of course, that's sort of up to you. So Madden update tips, Pat's Madden Ultimate Team tips. Okay, that's great. We have an idea who this is and what's going on there. The blog roll, I'm not sure what documentation is. I think you can get rid of that one. Matt, that's great. Mudhead. Recent posts. Okay, good. So, tips on how to upgrade your MUT. The post has got a lot of information, right? It is very text heavy. There are a couple things that you could do, I think, to alleviate that. First, you don't say if you have any interest on MUT, click on the photo. Give us the images. Put them up there so we can see what is going on with that. You could do a screencast like I'm doing right now, a video of what you do on Madden. I suspect you're able to do that. I'm not completely sure how. You probably have a better idea than I do. But we also need images throughout. For this kind of information, it would be great if we had a content area that would spread out wider, because that would allow us to put images in that take up sort of a third of the size. And here, like this bit, like this size over here, and then if our content area stretched wider, we would be able to have more text. There's a lot of wasted space in this theme. This theme is sort of a theme designed for much smaller monitors, you see. There's all this padding, right, on the outsides over here. In this area, this and this and this. That's sort of wasted screen real estate, really. And for yours, I would make it a little bit wider. There are no links at all in this post, and we really need to have that. I do not see an About page. I see an About Me post, which is not nearly as robust enough as discussed in the kind of things that Amy Lynn is advocating. I mean, look how nice these headers are, and really getting things across. And you can check out her own About page to see what she is doing. Now, the other thing is that you've made sort of an About post rather than a page. And there are static pages, I'm showing one right here, rather than posts. And pages are static because they do not change. They are not updated over time like your blog is. So please make an About page, and then that could be added to a menu in the appearance area, menus, and then that menu would appear somewhere, wherever your theme would be. While I'm looking at it, it's not great to have admin as the post type. Change it to Pat or something like that. You can do that in the settings area somewhere in here. Okay. So for yours, I would suggest a different theme, something a little bit more, something that allows you to have images, and we really need to start linking and then get those images integrated fully in with the text. They really want to be there. They want to be there together. Okay, let's take a look. Rachel, more food. Geesh, the other one had like 4 of them, and I'm just like starving over here. I gotta eat Funfetti waffles. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, now this theme is the same as somebody else in the class. I think Marissa has the same theme, and it's very nice. It's sort of like very foodie and kitchen-y. Rachel's Kitchen, I really like that, but the typeface is so small. It is just too tiny. I can barely even see what's going on in there. And you know, these videos are great. I don't know if anybody's watched these. I'm going to let this play while I'm talking. But I think it would be. Nope, I'm not, because there's. Get on my elevator. Okay, so the other thing is, now that I'm listening to the video, if you do not have permission to use that song, you cannot use that song. So there are websites that we can go to download audio that you can use for free, like Jamendo.com and Museo and several others that you can use without any problem. But a commercially released copyrighted song we cannot use for our purposes. Okay, so you might find that this video is eventually taken down, and that would be the reason for it. So we do not have any links in here. The images are the text is very small. Even though you have the video, you might have some still images as well. Okay, there are also no tags that I could see for this. It's nice that it's categorized as dessert, and then you've got the dessert menu options up at the top. Let's see, let's meet Rachel. Okay. We have Hershey. Moved to Philly. Rachel, okay, so right now I'm seeing, when I come to this page, the first thing I see is the Reese's Pieces and some sort of sports event. I do not see you. I do not understand why these things are here. Okay, I get that you're from Hershey, and that's where the Reese's are there, but I have to read that first. If we're going to show a picture of ourselves, let's show a real picture of yourself, maybe in the kitchen, maybe eating food, doing something, okay? It's great that you are an athlete, and here's you being all athletic and whatnot, but all I see is a teeny little blip right over here. You're about the same size as everybody in the stands, and it's just like, it's a tiny picture, and it doesn't really do anything for us. Okay, happy cooking has a period at the end of it. I think we also need a little bit more. I'm not sure if you need to be a student, although you're doing this in terms of being on a college budget, so having the student here is the right kind of ethos. The calendar is showing you when you're doing your posts, which is nice, at least for me, to see that. I love this social media business here. I wonder where you got that from. You have to let us know. Maybe you can tweet that at some point. Nice having your tweets there. You don't have any comments yet, so I would remove your recent comments until you have some. You should add a blog roll. Okay. But so you might, while the theme is nice, I think maybe we can, maybe you and me and Marissa who have this can meet at some point and try to get the font and larger, the typeface larger. Okay. Rebecca, fitness, a very clean blog. That's one of the first things I see is that this is clean. I also recognize this as one of the WordPress theme blogs. That in itself is not a huge problem, but it does call itself out as that. This comments, this is not a real comment. This is one of the sort of the default comments, so I would take that out. I like the tweets, the archives, categories, uncategorized. Get that one out of here. Make that one in. Remove the visible tag when you go through editing. The meta should be at the bottom. Blog roll, you have two of them, two blog rolls, so you might want to fix that. And these are all just like the default things. You want to add blog rolls to websites that are your own. And again, the blog roll is in the links area. You would add a new link through here and name, URL, add link. You would choose where you want to be, and then it would be in the blog roll. To get rid of the links that you don't want, you click on like suggested ideas, you click on edit, and then keep this link private and update link, and that will make it so it's not showing. Okay. Now, the one thing that I noticed about this is that the content is here. It's under a category of fitness, and I see no tags, so we need tags. On blogs, we do not put like works cited links. These need to be linked to from wherever it is that you're talking about it. So I'm not really sure what this is. These are from the tips of some sort, but we need to have those links so I can click here or here or here, not wait till I get down at the bottom. You have 2 number 1s on this post, by the way. And we need images or videos or both, something that's going to be more than text. People who are doing workouts want to see what the workouts look like. They want to be able to imitate it. So set up a camera, work out, let someone videotape you working out or taking pictures. There should be no shame in the fact that you're working out. There's nothing really to hide, I don't think, either. So those are 2 of the most important things for here. We need to get those things. We get the links added to the content. Each site has the same sort of structure where you're doing that, and get those in. Let's take a look at the About page. And we need to do your About page. Okay. Otherwise, it's looking good. It's a nice, clean theme. You might have a better name, okay, like something fun and fitnessy, and then something with Rebecca Quirk. Okay, come up with something clever, that kind of thing. Strolling through SJU. Thwind. HWND. I should know what that means, I think, but I don't. And anybody who comes to this site is going to think that there's just some random letters sitting here. Okay, it's great that you have this little sidebar with a picture of you guys in front of the cathedral. Really nice. It's sort of static, but that's okay. Let's see what happens when we stretch. Oh, we get better. Does it go away? Eventually it goes away. Okay. And this is what the blog will look like. This is a responsive theme. This is what it will look like on a phone. Look at my terrible desktop. Oh, terrible. Your desktop should never look like mine is. Okay. So the first thing I see is that this is uncategorized, and we really need to have these categorized properly. I see this as admin. Let's change this to something more meaningful than that. I'm also looking through, and I see no links and no images at all. And we really need to have those in there, especially since it's strolling through SJU, and you're sort of taking the approach of looking at these spaces. And we need to have links all over the place here. And if we're having some trouble, just sort of let me know. Okay, but it's got the, it's a nice theme. The colors match. It's a good backbone, but we really need to start engaging and getting this stuff off the ground. Okay. Let's see, the tipping point, a guide to saving money as a college student in Philadelphia. It would be the tipping point with Sam, or the tipping point with Samantha, or something. So we know that there's a person associated with this. It's not just some sort of corporate blog thing that's going on there. I look down at the blog row here, and I'm seeing themes and support forum suggested ideas. As I just mentioned in the earlier post, you can take those out, and then that will just be much more meaningful. Now I'm seeing Dunkin' Donuts over here. Everything's trying to get me to eat. Dorm delicacies. Slowly coming up. There it is. More disappointed. It's just food in the dining hall. Yep. Full-time student. Which was banana sandwich. Here. Okay, a note on here. Linking the word here, people see it all the time. However, it's really not a great practice. You want to reword your sentence so the meaningful words in the sentence become linkable. Linking here for somebody who is using a screen reader, for example, somebody who's blind using a screen reader, they would not be able to see. They don't understand what this here means. The screen reader tells them link, and then it reads the text. And if it just is link here, it doesn't really be meaningful, especially if there's multiple heres on the page, which often happens. I'd like to see some pictures of you doing these recipes. What do they actually look like, and where are you getting them from? Babble. Like, where are these recipes coming from? That's a question that I have. Who's coming up with these recipes? Because if you're just copying recipes and popping it in here without giving credit, then that's not acceptable. So we really need to do that. And we want to have some images in here as well. Something fun. Dorm food, I guess, is the comment. I mean, is the category. There are no tags, so we need to add some tags. College Fest. Something to really liven this up. There's a lot of linking going on in here, which is great. And I love it if the images were sort of wrapped up in the text, but there's a lot more going on in this one than in the others in terms of the linking. Please get rid of this uncategorized. Okay, we don't want to have that in there. Oh, no comments so far. Okay, anything at the bottom? See, and then in the categories we have this here, and then we don't really want that at all. If you're going to have multiple, so you have, what do you have is you should have 3 columns of a footer at the bottom. And so some of these you should be moving over to here so it doesn't keep scrolling all the way down. And you've got another Twitter one in here. The tag cloud should really be up higher, somewhere over here where we can see. Looks like you have multiple blog roles too, so we don't need to repeat those kinds of things. Get rid of the recent comments until comments start appearing. Okay. It's a nice theme. The font is a nice size. The layout is clean. There's a bit of extra white space, but otherwise I think it's okay. We really just need to get those things set up, and we need an about page. I don't see any sort of about page link to at all. Okay, Baron blog. Let's take a look. Okay, so this theme is similar. It looks like it's the exact same theme as this one, right? Here it looks okay to me. Here it looks kitschy for some reason. Perhaps it's this background image of what I imagine is Philly, but we see not much of it. What happens if I stretch it? Yeah, it doesn't look good very much if we stretch it. Really, you're doing a sort of corporate stuff, but this theme is not allowing you to do the kind of work you need to do. We've got like clip art pictures in here that you've stolen from someplace. They're clearly not your own, that we need to change out. Baron be the best you. Okay, and then you've got your tweets. We have no blog roll or anything else. There is no links to anything that you're writing about. So you're looking to this success. The words. Check out this guide. The phrase "this guide" should be linkable, not to success. These are a lot of categories. These are too many categories. The blog post should have maybe one category, like tips would be a category, or something you want to uncheck uncategorized. Okay. So yeah, I think Steve, you really need to figure out what you're doing, your blog is about, and how you want to present yourself and present what it is that you're doing. So it's right now it's sort of finding itself still. It is not a very professional. If you're thinking about corporate professional, they're going to look at this and not see corporate professional. Okay, it's a very different goal than strolling through, which is sort of a fun kind of way of approach what's going on here. Here we need a much more, I think, professional kind of theme. Okay, we need an about page and so on. Tyler's website, self-expression is beautiful in every form. So we're talking about tats and tattoos. Let's see about. Hi, I'm a communication. I love to travel. Okay. This is a blog about tattooing, and so the first thing you say is that you love to travel, and this is a problem, right? There's nothing in here about tattoos. Okay. The first thing that we need here is we need to repurpose this unique art tattoos page where you're writing about your own tattoos and repositioning it into your about page, and then we need to see pictures of it. And we need to see that those things are happening in there. and following along with how to write an about page. Okay, and these are your categories. That's great. Tattoo ideas. Not sure what's going on here with these tattoo ideas, but I guess they are tattoo ideas. How long will it take for you to decide? Post interview stories, that's great. Okay, so you see how when I hover over this, let me move it up a little bit, it treats every single one the same. It's because WordPress does not recognize the hash in the tagging. That's for Twitter and Instagram. So on WordPress, we don't use the #. Get rid of it, redo your tagging, and you'll see that each of these will come out. And when you're putting them in, you separate them all by commas. We don't want them all to be the same. So your tag cloud, if you have one, probably looks a little weird because that's all linkable, that, and so on. So, but you see how when you're using real words without the hash, things sort of come up. Recent comments, I've talked about that before with the other ones. In terms of content, writing about personal type things for these is not as, I think, effective as writing about what's going on in the tattoo industry and the kinds of things that people who are doing tattoos or have tattoos or interested in getting tattoos or are curious about the safety of tattoos. Those kinds of stuff I think would be really interesting for you to write about, and I'd be curious to see what your take is on that. I like that you've got your name associated with it. I'm not sure where you're getting this information, but if you are getting it from somewhere, please make sure you're citing about it. Blog roll, BuzzFeed, great. That's great. Twitter. Okay. It's a nice layout. It's a nice theme. It's clean. I'd love there to be some more engaging content and for you to really update your bio and your about page. Okay. College cooking, and I gotta go eat something because I'm getting a headache from not eating. Okay, so you have 2 Twitter feeds. I see this immediately. College Cooking 101. No kitchen, no problem. See more. Boom, brought down. Okay, Twitter. So we only need one of these, and I would take this out and get that out of there. The about, we would get rid of that. Recent post, blog roll, great. Categories, food tag cloud. I always like the tag cloud to be much more prominently located. Okay. Getting away. Oh, New York City. We talked about admin with the other posts. Very nice. I like the way this image looks. Is this one that you took? I'm hoping full-size render. But I like how you've got this set up. You've got a border around it. You've got the cappuccino. It looks very nice. Oh, that's lovely. Outside in the winter. I'm not sure if that's yours. Is this yours also? I'm not really sure. I talked about here and here just in the other post. We need links to all these places. And you should be letting them know that you are writing about this. Remember what the book say about chunking. And so here, it's just a lot of text. I'm not really sure what's going on. When I think of fall, you think of sweaters, long walks, but really we're writing about this restaurant, right? So if you're going to have this, then we need to have some like subheadings that let us know when the restaurant stuff is going to start. Because, and this, everyone is writing about pizza. I'm going to have more pizza, although it's terrible for me. Photo creds, Instagram. Okay, you might let her know, or whoever this Sharon Gill, let this person know that you are using it and get permission. And they'll say, I just make sure that you're doing that. And you certainly shouldn't download it. You should sort of figure out a way to embed it using the URL instead. Are we sure this is from this restaurant, Oli Piu? It's a question that I have as I'm looking at it. So it's interesting because this one, I wonder if it's the top post always shows up. This theme is nice, but again, it's not very wide and doesn't give us that opportunity to, it's made for a screen that's like this big, okay? Well, this is what happens if you see it on the iPad and the phone and so on, so you can tell. So if you might choose a theme that expands a little bit more, gives you a little bit more flexibility in the kind of content, where you can put your images, that kind of thing. Is there an about page? Let's see. I'm not a big fan of nuts. You know, these walnuts. Not for me. Yeah, I like bananas and that stuff. The pictures that you have in your other posts are substantially better than these. So much better than in this one here. So I hope you did rent. I do not see an about page. So we need to have that. Food, New York City, Philadelphia. These are your categories. Nice. It's clean, it's sort of laid out nicely, but we do need to have an about page, and I would work on those sort of chunking and rewriting some of those posts to sort of reorganize things a little bit. But otherwise, it looks good. All right, so that's the end of section 2, and if you have questions for me, please let me know. See ya.